AJ DeBonta gets all the headlines for BYU, and that's for good reason. He's a 6'9" freak of nature that's been the best athlete on any court he's stepped foot on in the past 3 years, and he's going to be a top 2 pick in the upcoming draft. There's no debate that DeBonta is a great player, but he's not the only NBA prospect at BYU. Richie Saunders doesn't have DeBonta's athleticism, and he certainly flies under the radar compared to his high-profile teammate, but he's got a skill set that makes him ready to contribute to an NBA team right now. He's shown that he can fit seamlessly into an NBA-style offense that relies heavily on one high-usage star, having played alongside 2 lottery picks in Igor Demon and DeBonta. His most valuable asset is his shooting ability, as I'd confidently say he's one of the very best shooters in college basketball right now. But it's the way he's built the rest of his game around his shooting that makes him such a dangerous player, and the perfect person to learn from next in this series on how players without elite athleticism can excel at the next level. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Shooting is by far the most valuable skill in basketball. If you're an elite shooter, coaches will do everything in their power to get you on the court and keep you there. And Richie Saunders is a prime example of a player who gets on the court because he can shoot the seams off the ball. And while I don't believe there's a correct way to shoot, if you looked up jump shot in the dictionary, there'd probably be a video of Richie Saunders shooting the 3. His form is beautiful and it meets the 2 criteria for having a good jump shot. There's no hitch and he can get it off anytime he wants. As long as your jumper ticks those 2 boxes, you shouldn't worry about how your shot looks. Saunders has a lightning fast release because of 2 factors, a repeatable shot path and picture-perfect shot preparation. His shot path has no wasted movement, and no matter where he catches it, he's able to quickly get it to his release spot. And his time to release on catch and shoot jumpers is so quick because he does his work early, getting his feet moving and his hips loaded while the pass is still in the air, so all he has to do when he catches is let it rip. He's an elite spot-up shooter, but it's really his movement shooting ability that sets him apart and will make him a valuable asset to an NBA offense in the future. He is able to sprint off screens and rise up in a 3-point shot, with his defender trailing in a way very few college players can, and is reminiscent of elite shooters like Michael Porter Jr. and JJ Redick. Saunders has elite footwork, not because he does the same thing every single time, but because he is adaptable and has a lot of footwork options in his bag. He can take a quick hop, go left-right or right-left, and has the ability to backpedal into a 3-pointer. This makes him so dangerous, and if you could learn one thing from this video, it would be to worry less about using the perfect footwork. Instead, focus on simply shooting the ball, and let your body self-organize into using the footwork that is best suited for that situation. Another thing I should note is that one of the most underrated aspects of being a great shooter has nothing to do with actually shooting the ball. If you are the best shooter in the world but can never get open when the other team knows how well you can shoot, you're completely useless. There are many players who can knock down stationary jump shots, but if you become an elite shooter, you will eventually reach a level where a large number of your shots are coming on the move. And to be a good movement shooter, you gotta have a mix of physical tools to help get your shot off, like speed and or height, as well as a high level of deception and basketball IQ. As an elite shooter, you need to be the most confident player on the floor. Saunders shoots some of these threes with the defender basically in his jersey, because he knows they aren't going to block him, and as long as he can see the rim, why does it matter where the defender is? Lastly, everybody wants to shoot step backs like Luka and sidestep threes like Tatum, but those are shots reserved for superstars at the highest level of the game. Most elite 3-point shooters are still getting the majority of their shots off the catch or off 1 or 2 dribbles. The college game has very few players who are able or are allowed to spend valuable shot clock time sizing up their defender before taking a 3. Simplicity rules, so know that every level you go up, the less opportunity you'll have to waste time and energy on dribbling before getting into your shot. The era of social media and highlight reels has taught us that the more difficult a play looks, the better it is. But I am here to tell you that the guys who can score in the easiest way possible consistently are the players earning scholarships and getting paid to play basketball. Richie Saunders is going to play in the NBA for 2 reasons. He's an elite shooter, and he's great at attacking the closeouts that come about because he's such a good shooter. He doesn't rely on complex dribbling moves, he just capitalizes on the advantages his teammates create, or the advantage he has because defenders are forced to fly out at him to take away his 3-pointer. And he does this by simply ripping and driving, usually to his strong hand. Now, I'm not saying you don't need to work on your offhand, but Saunders is showing us that you don't need much other than an elite shot and a right hand to consistently get into the paint and create high-quality looks. Now, what you do when you get into the paint will depend on what kind of player you are. Smaller players might turn these paint touches created by a closeout into kickouts or a drop-off to a teammate, while bigger guards or wings could finish these drives themselves like Saunders is doing. This is what next-level offense looks like. Every one of these buckets is the result of a hard closeout, or the defender pressing up too far because he's panicked about giving up a jumper. Richie Saunders is living proof that you can build a pro game off totally controllable things. an elite shooting ability, and attacking closeouts at a high level. When you can shoot the ball like Richie Saunders, you might think that all you gotta do is shoot threes. But when you become known as a shooter, teams are gonna do everything in their power to run you off that line. And you can either view that as a negative, or you can recognize it as an amazing opportunity that's only available to next level shooters. The first coverage that you'll begin to see is denial, which is where defenders are so scared of you even touching the ball beyond the arc, they'll start jumping in front of screens, basically giving you a free pass right to the basket, because they'd prefer you having a wide open layup over a three. Another very common coverage in modern basketball is top blocking, where the defender completely takes away the option to use the screen, but it leaves them susceptible to back cuts. But the biggest advantage you'll have when you're an elite shooter, the one that Saunders takes advantage of the most, is that defenders will start to trail you. This opens up so many options, whether you're running off screens or getting handoffs, because the defense is sacrificing the advantage because they're so scared of your shooting ability. And all you gotta do is keep that advantage alive until you or a teammate finishes. How you complete that advantage will depend on your physical makeup or other skills, but that's not the hard part. In fact, when the defense is forced to trail you, there's no hard part at all, as you no longer have to create an advantage. Your shooting has done it for you. This is why I say shooting is the number one most important skill to work on, because it makes all other types of scoring easier in ways that other skills simply don't, and it's completely unreliant on natural athleticism and physical qualities. It may not be flashy, but if you want to have the biggest impact at the next level, I'd highly recommend modeling your game off of Richie Saunders and how he scores through elite shooting, attacking closeouts, and finishing the advantages that defenses are forced to hand over to him. If you like this breakdown, check out my other player breakdowns on my YouTube channel, and stay tuned for videos on how you can work on the skills that make these players successful at the next level.